Imagine a creature, fast asleep for thousands of years. It was born during a time when woolly mammoths roamed the earth. Giant cave bears lumbered through ancient forests. The world was a very different place, covered in vast sheets of ice. This tiny being fell into a deep frozen slumber, waiting patiently through countless seasons. It slept through the rise and fall of great civilizations, through changing climates and shifting continents. Then one day, in a modern laboratory far from its icy home, it blinked and began to stir. This is not a tale from a science fiction film. It is a true story of life's incredible power to endure. It reminds us that our planet holds secrets far older and more wondrous than we can possibly imagine. This remarkable event begins in one of the coldest and most remote places on our planet, Siberia. Here, the ground is frozen solid all year round. It is a landscape of stark, silent beauty, where the air is crisp and the winters are long and dark. For scientists, this frozen wilderness is like a giant treasure chest. It holds clues about Earth's distant past, locked away in layers of ice and soil. Every so often, this frozen world gives up one of its secrets. A team of researchers drilling deep into the ancient ground found something extraordinary. They found a life form that had been trapped in a state of suspended animation for an astonishing 24,000 years. A tiny whisper from the Ice Age, ready to be heard once more. The very idea of bringing something back to life after such an immense passage of time is truly breathtaking. Think of everything that has happened in 24,000 years. Humans learned to farm, build towering cities, and even travel to the moon. All the while, this minuscule creature remained perfectly preserved. Its life processes paused, as if someone had pressed a stop button. Its revival is a testament to the resilience of life itself. It shows us that even in the most extreme conditions, life can find a way to hold on. This discovery opens a window into a world that has long since vanished, offering us a living link to the planet as it was during the last ice age. What does it mean to be alive? Is it simply about moving and breathing, or is it something more profound? This tiny creature challenges our understanding of life and time. It proves that life can be paused and restarted, almost like a computer program. The scientists who made this discovery were not just observing a scientific curiosity, they were witnessing a miracle of nature. They were watching a life form cross an unimaginable gulf of time to exist in our modern world. It is a humbling experience, one that fills us with a deep sense of awe for the natural world and all the mysteries it still holds for us to explore and understand. To understand how this little creature survived, we must first journey into the world of permafrost. What is permafrost? The name gives us a clue. It is ground that remains permanently frozen, not just for a winter or even a few years, but for at least 2 years straight. In places like Siberia and the Arctic, some permafrost has been frozen for hundreds of thousands of years. It is a mixture of soil, rock, sand, and ice, all bonded together in a solid frozen mass. This frozen ground can be incredibly deep, sometimes stretching more than a kilometer beneath the surface. It acts like a gigantic natural freezer, preserving whatever becomes trapped within it. Think of the permafrost as nature's very own time capsule. When an animal or a plant dies in this region, it can be quickly buried by sediment and frozen. The extreme cold slows down the process of decay almost to a complete stop. The bacteria and fungi that normally break down organic matter cannot function in such freezing temperatures. This is why scientists have found such wonderfully preserved remains of Ice Age animals. They have discovered woolly mammoths with their skin, hair, and even muscles still intact. They have found ancient wolves and cave lions that look as though they only recently fell asleep. The permafrost keeps them safe from the ravages of time. The preservation is so perfect that it extends even to the smallest and most delicate forms of life. Things like ancient seeds, pollen, and microscopic organisms can be locked in the ice without being damaged. For these tiny life forms, being frozen is like entering a state of deep hibernation. Their biological functions shut down, and they enter a state called cryptobiosis, which means hidden life. In this state, they are not truly dead, but they are not fully alive either. They are simply waiting for the conditions to become right again, for the ice to thaw, and for the water they need for life to become available once more. This is precisely how our 24,000-year-old creature survived. It was frozen solid in the Siberian permafrost, protected from decay and damage. The ice created a stable, unchanging environment. It was a silent, dark, and cold world, but it was also a safe one. The creature was shielded from predators, from changing weather, and from the passing of millennia. It was a tiny passenger on a very long journey through time, carried forward inside Earth's great frozen time capsule. Its survival is a remarkable feat, a story of patience written in ice, waiting for the day it would be discovered by curious human beings. The discovery was made by a team of Russian scientists working at the Soil Cryology Laboratory near Moscow. Cryology is the study of ice and frozen ground, and these scientists are experts in exploring the secrets held within the permafrost. They drilled a core sample from deep within the frozen earth near the Alazaya River in northeastern Siberia. This core was like a long cylindrical ice pop, containing layers of frozen soil that dated back tens of thousands of years. Carefully, they transported these frozen samples back to their laboratory, keeping them completely frozen along the way to preserve whatever might be hidden inside. It was a delicate operation, requiring great care and precision. Back in the lab, the real magic began. The scientists took small pieces of the frozen soil from the core, which they knew was about 24,000 years old based on radiocarbon dating. They placed these ancient soil samples in a petri dish, a small, shallow dish used for growing microorganisms. Then, they added a nutrient-rich liquid and gently warmed the dish to a comfortable temperature. They were creating a welcoming environment, hoping that if anything were still alive, it would have the food and warmth it needed to wake up. They watched and they waited, peering through their microscopes with hopeful anticipation. And then, something moved. To their astonishment, a tiny multicellular creature began to stir. It was a bedelloid rotifer, a microscopic animal that is known for its incredible toughness. After 24 millennia, in a frozen stasis, the rotifer was coming back to life. It began to move, to feed, and most remarkably of all, to reproduce. The creature created perfect clones of itself, a process called parthenogenesis. It was as if no time had passed at all. The scientists had not only revived a single ancient creature, they had restarted a lineage that had been paused during the Ice Age. It was a moment of pure scientific wonder. The scientists repeated the experiment many times to be absolutely sure of what they were seeing. They used different samples from the same ancient permafrost layer and followed strict procedures to avoid any contamination with modern organisms. Each time the result was the same. The ancient rotifers awoke from their long slumber and began to thrive in their new home. They had successfully traveled through time thanks to their own amazing biology and the preserving power of the permafrost. This careful, patient work by the scientists had unveiled one of life's most extraordinary survival stories, proving that reality can sometimes be even more fantastic than fiction. So, what exactly is this incredible survivor? Well, it is a bedelloid rotifer, a creature so small that you would need a microscope to see it. If you were to look at one, you would see a fascinating animal that is often called a wheel animalcule. This is because it has a crown of tiny hair-like structures called cilia around its mouth. When these cilia beat together, they look like a pair of spinning wheels. This motion helps the rotifer to both move through the water and to pull in tiny food particles such as bacteria and algae. Despite their minuscule size, they are complex animals with a brain, a gut, and muscles. They are true survivors, found in freshwater habitats all over the world today. This particular rotifer, however, is special. It comes from a world we can only dream of. When it was first frozen, the landscape of Siberia was very different. It was part of a vast grassy plain known as the Mammoth Steppe. Herds of woolly mammoths, woolly rhinos, and bison grazed on the tough grasses. Predators like cave lions and giant short-faced bears hunted on these plains. Our tiny rotifer would have lived in a small puddle or a film of moisture on a piece of moss, sharing its world with these magnificent beasts. It is a living piece of that lost ecosystem, a direct connection to a time when ice sheets covered much of the northern hemisphere. The secret to the rotifer's survival lies in its astonishing ability to protect itself from damage. When faced with extreme conditions like freezing or drying out, the bedelloid rotifer can enter its state of cryptobiosis. During this process, it dehydrates itself and produces special sugars that form a glassy, protective shield around its cells. This shield prevents sharp ice crystals from forming and tearing its delicate structures apart. It is like having a natural form of antifreeze and a personal suit of armor. This allows the rotifer to withstand conditions that would be instantly fatal to most other animals, making it one of nature's ultimate survivors. The fact that this rotifer could not only survive being frozen, but also repair any damage and begin reproducing is what makes this discovery so significant. It suggests that these creatures have evolved incredibly effective mechanisms for protecting and repairing their DNA over vast timescales. For an animal that reproduces by cloning itself, this is crucial. Without the ability to mix genes with a partner, any accumulated damage to its DNA could be passed down to all its offspring. The bdelloid rotifer has clearly solved this problem, and scientists are now eager to study its genome to understand how it performs this remarkable feat of self-preservation. This discovery of a living 24,000-year-old rotifer opens up a universe of fascinating questions. If a complex multicellular animal like a rotifer can survive for so long, what else might be waiting in the permafrost? Could there be other, even more complex organisms trapped in the ice? Scientists believe it is possible. The permafrost is a vast, largely unexplored frontier. It may hold countless other species of ancient bacteria, algae, mosses, and perhaps even other microscopic animals like tardigrades or water bears, which are also known for their incredible resilience. Each new discovery could add another piece to the puzzle of life's history on Earth. Studying these ancient organisms can teach us so much about evolution and survival. How do they protect their cells and their DNA from damage over thousands of years? Unlocking these biological secrets could have incredible applications in our own world. Imagine if we could learn how to preserve human organs for transplantation for longer periods, using the same principles that the rotifer uses. The study of these extremophiles, organisms that thrive in extreme environments, could lead to breakthroughs in medicine, biotechnology, and our understanding of the fundamental processes of life and aging. The rotifer is not just an old creature, it is a master teacher of survival. The discovery also makes us think about the search for life beyond our own planet. If life can survive for tens of thousands of years frozen in the Siberian permafrost, could it perhaps survive in a similar state on other worlds? Places like Mars or the icy moons of Jupiter and Saturn have frozen environments. Could ancient Martian life, if it ever existed, be preserved in the permafrost near the planet's poles? The resilience of the bdelloid rotifer gives us hope that life might be hardier than we thought. It suggests that if we look in the right frozen places, we might one day find evidence of life elsewhere in our solar system. As our planet warms, the ancient permafrost is beginning to thaw. This is a cause for concern as it releases greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, but it also means that more of these ancient time capsules are being revealed. It is a race against time for scientists to explore these environments and discover the secrets they hold before they are lost forever. Every core sample drilled from the ice is a journey into the past. What other wonders lie sleeping beneath our feet, waiting for a chance to wake up? Discoveries like the 24,000-year-old rotifer remind us that our planet is full of surprises, and the story of life on Earth is far from over.